Hey traders, John Howell here. I'm really excited. The reason why, I want to share with you what I see coming over the next, say, 6 months, but then also over the next, say, couple of years, and why the cycles that I'm seeing right now after doing analysis here for a few hours or more is quite exciting. And I'm really excited for what's to come. I believe over the next 5 years, guys, there's going to be some really big opportunities for you to generate some serious wealth, but only if you're looking at things that you're allowed to be patient with. Okay, if you are a day trader, this is not about taking lots of trades. Okay, the best thing you can do is try to find put it this way, the best trades that I've ever done is I've got involved with it and I've let the thing go, be patient, and then I've actually taken advantage of that. So what I'm seeing right now across the markets is really exciting. The first thing I do see is keep an eye on this really big long-term chart here. Right? There's a big long-term monthly chart here on the good old Dow Jones. So what I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing a few things here. If I bring up the actual daily chart itself, this is the Dow Jones daily chart, right? And we also can go to the Nasdaq as well too, Nasdaq chart. On a short-term level basis, we do know we're pretty overextended. There's a lot of greed starting to kick in the pace. And we've been going pretty vertical here. Right? Very soon we will get one of these guys through here, which was what? As you can see as the market, this here looks really similar to this back here. So this is very short-term analysis, but you see how I'm going to put all this together for you to really help you when it comes to this sort of stuff from there, right? So we have this big move up from here to here, and then we had that drop. That drop from that high down to low was about 12%, 10, what's that there? Yeah, 12%, right? So a 12% drop. So if we got the same sort of thing, about a 10 or 12% drop, we'd come down to there. That's probably going to be like a 50% retracement, right? So that's probably what's going to come soon. You know, and knowing that we're getting into the August, September period, we do know that they are quite volatile months. So the purpose of me saying this here is, one, don't be trading based off your thoughts or your ego or your opinions, because you're going to get run over the next few months. The volatility is going to really increase. Okay, so just please make sure that you're really trading some sort of system that's going to give you a good chance. And the best thing you can do, guys, is step aside. If something's not quite right, step aside. But on a short-term level basis, we can see that that's what we're probably going to see there. Now, I say on a short-term level basis because if I look at, say, the S&P 500, what I see coming on the S&P 500, I've got this target through here, is as you can see, this is the S&P, or most indices are doing what I just said a minute ago, okay? On a very short-term level basis, we've had a big move up on the daily charts. This is daily charts. Now I'm going to go back to the monthly charts. This is the monthly charts, and that's what the monthly chart looks here. So a bit of FYI, notice how especially if you're a long-term buy and holder, notice how when you look at a chart like this, it doesn't look as scary. But what do a lot of traders do? They do this, don't they? They go, oh my goodness, oh, and then they see these big bars here. See how close we are? One of the best things I can recommend you doing, guys, is not looking at the candlesticks and on one by one basis. Zoom it out a bit, right? Zoom it out. And this is where I like black bars. Because when I'm looking at black bars, I'm looking at the highs and lows. The rule number one for me is what's the trend overall. So that's what I'm seeing there, right? So that's what we're seeing there. So the purpose of me saying this here is because I do see after this 1 to 2 month, bring it into, say, August and then September, we're probably likely to see some quite a weak periods through there, right? Quite weak periods. So, but then after that, as you can see here, I actually do I have it on here? Oh, I've actually got a 7,500 target on the S&P 500. I have done now for a while. If you click on my name, on this YouTube video, and it's going to take you to my homepage, and on the homepage is the trailer video. And back when the market was down here, I put a video out saying we're going to 7,500 this year. Well, we're probably got a good chance we're going to there. So, but looking at what I'm just seeing through there when it comes to the stock market, firstly, get ready for the market's set up for a really good sort of shake and bake type of movement. Shake and bake simply means we're probably going to get a good pullback. Very overextended, we're probably likely to get that. But then on the flip side of that, if we have a look at what's going on here, all that's going to be is this, down, and that's all it's going to look like on this monthly charts. And then the reason I'm doing this video for you, because I'm getting you ready for what's potentially coming, because it's going to be a really good buying opportunity. And then we're going to see a really big sort of, what's that? August, September, then October, November, December, right? That last quarter, we could see some really big moves. Now, here's the thing. we're very late in the big debt cycles of, when it comes to Ray Dalio stuff and so on and so forth. And we do know we're getting very close towards some sort of a recession is coming. We do know that we're getting everything start to line up. Now, I don't believe we're going to go through a big 80% crash, right? I don't believe that. But I do believe we're going to see a good 20, maybe 25% pullback in the stock market, right? So I do see that. So what does that look like overall? Let's just say, for example, we did get to the 7,500 target from here, right? So the market got to the 7.5, market did this, market did that, and then let's just create another trend line. And then we had a big move up and we had this big, now it doesn't look big there, but if I go to my daily charts and zoom my daily charts out, you see what I'm saying now, all right? That's the 7,500 target up there, right? So this is what I'm seeing here by the end of this year. Something like that. And then come into, October, November, December, we're probably going to see something like that. Maybe even the first quarter of next year as well too, right? But then what's likely to happen, if I go to my weekly charts now, is then we're likely to see probably a good 20 to 25% correction out of the market, maybe even 25%. But look at what that is still going to do. This is big long-term weekly charts. Let's go back to the monthly charts here. If that does happen, look at this here. This is where the big picture, guys, I'm telling you right now, the big picture. And just expect this. So the purpose of me doing this is when the market starts to have that next big freak out and people are jumping out of, oh my goodness, the top 10, 80% crash and all those bumblebees going to start like, no, it's not coming. Sensible, right? Right? There's going to be really good buying opportunities. One, I believe there's going to be another really good buying opportunity. If you missed the buying opportunity in March this year, right? This period here, there's probably another good one coming in the next couple months. And then there's probably going to be a much more bigger one coming, I believe, in 2026, right? So then we see that through there. But then if you have a look at this here, if that happens, down, up, if we do get the 20, 25% drop to the downside, then guess what that's still doing, right? That overall is still what? The charts are going to look like this. If we did get that, right? Now, again, I'm expecting a drop to the downside, but there's too much money in the system for the market to have a big sort of freak out 80% drop. I don't believe we're going to see that through there, right? So through there, up through there, right, to 7,000, 8,000, right? And then we come back down, might possibly even bounce off this trend line here, these ones here, right? And then we're likely to see some really, really big moves. So this point right here is 2026. Now, I would say the third quarter into the fourth quarter this year, fourth quarter this year into first quarter next year, we're probably likely to see a good move. So get ready for a buying opportunity, right? Don't be jumping over yourself, right? There's probably going to be a really good buying opportunity coming up real soon. Now, I have sort of, I have things on the charts that tell me when we're probably likely to see that bottom coming in play. But there's probably some really, really, really big moves coming in, right? And guys, I'm not talking about the stock market. I'm not only talking about the stock market, right? There is the energy sector. There is oil. There's awesome individual oil stocks. There's some really, really, really big moves coming. Not only that, but then there's the metals. There is silver and gold. There's some really big moves coming, right? So here's the big thing. Big long-term picture and the really great buying opportunities is probably going to come in the next few months. And then that's going to see a really good move for the next 3 to 6 months. Fourth quarter this year into the first quarter next year. That's what I do see when it comes to the stock market. Then 2026, majority of 2026 is probably going to be a pretty bad year, right? Just a bit of again, just another freak out, just like happens most year, right? The market goes down, and this is what happens most years, right? Most years the market goes down 10, 15%. I think there's going to be a little bit more coming into next year. There's going to be like a bit of a freak out. We're not going to get an 80% drop to the downside, right? We'll probably maybe even have as much as down to, if I remove this trend line here, you can see this bottom trend line here. So at most, if we did get that and then that, then we're probably going to come down to there, and then we're probably going to do that through there. But do you notice the big picture here? The big picture is what? By 2030, I see these prices by 2030, right? So if you're a long-term buy and hold, or say on the S&P 500, there's probably going to be some really big swings, yes? Some gut-wrenching swings, and then if you're going to get tapped into your emotions into the media and say, oh my goodness, the top's in the crashes, 80%, oh no, stop, right? No, stop. But then for me as a trader, when this happens and this is now from 2027 and onwards to say 2030, right? That also goes in and marks in very, very, very in alignment with what I see here with the cycles that I just said a minute ago, right? Because this is the big monthly charts, right? And this here was when Trump was connected. This here was the COVID crash. This here was the recession fears. This here was the tariff, right? All that sort of stuff. And we're probably going to continue that sort of stuff there. And that's all we're probably going to do. So get ready for some really buying opportunities. I read the next 5 years, guys, are going to be some amazing buying opportunities. Now, I believe the best markets to be involved with on the other side of the pullback coming next year, and I believe gold and silver are going to pull back as well too. Mining stocks. I think we've got a bit more upside in the metals and miners this year, but then next year I think everything's going to get a big pullback, and then I believe on 2027, the big beneficiaries, I believe the big markets that are going to make tremendous moves. That's when I start to see things like gold going to 10,000. Mining stock, eventually the mining stocks is going to boom, and so much more from there. So there we go, guys. There's a bit of an update what I'm seeing here right now. Traders, if you first link in the description is a free trading course I'm giving away if you need help for there. Or if you'd like to join my 1% club where you're with me every day for a couple of hours, I'm showing you everything I'm doing and I'm coaching you and guiding you. That's that second link in the description. Have a great day, guys.